assigned this project for AP Lang, it didn't take me long to figure out what I wanted to do, because for the past year I have been teaching gymnastics classes to girls aged 3 to 11, and in November I asked this one girl, Zoe, why she hadn't been wearing her leotard to class lately. Zoe's very cute, she's 7, she always had this pink Leo on that she loved, and for a few weeks she hadn't been wearing it, and I asked her why not, and she said because she felt too fat to wear her leotard. And that totally shook me. I had no response for her. But then the next day walking through Oakton, I realized there were girls everywhere around me saying the exact same thing. Girls saying, I was gonna wear this dress today, but I felt too fat, so I wore a sweatshirt instead. Things like that are totally acceptable in high school, but to hear them from a 7-year-old is awful. So I started thinking, why is it okay that we are feeling this way, and it's almost expected that girls feel this way about themselves? And obviously there's a lot of hype and knowledge about eating disorders like anorexia and bulimia, but I think what often gets skipped over is the distorted body image and distorted eating that comes right before that. So like the stage before, where you're not taking that extra step to starve yourself or to binge and purge, but you feel awful about yourself and it affects your daily life. So for my implementation, I definitely wanted to talk to girls at different ages to see the responses I would get and kind of realize at what time that kind of shift happened between being acceptable with your body and liking your body and then not liking your body and hating your body. Because I can definitely remember like the time and like the moment when I first became aware of what my body felt like and was, and I was in 6th grade. So I decided I was going to go talk to a class of 6th grade girls at Mosby Woods. I emailed my old 6th grade teacher, Ms. Bodenhofer, and I talked to the counselor at Mosby Woods, and we arranged some orders and some guidelines to make sure I didn't cross any boundaries talking about eating disorders, because I'm not like trained for family life education. But then on a Friday, Christine Cox and I went and we sat down with the girls, no teachers around, and we asked them questions about their bodies, what they felt, questions about middle school, boys, makeup, and they were very unreceptive on questions about body image. They had textbook perfect answers. We would ask them, do boys affect your body image? And they would say, no, not at all. Boys do not affect how we feel about ourselves. We would say, raise your hand, close your eyes and raise your hand if you've ever tried dieting, and none of them raised their hands. So Christine and I knew this was a little fishy, and then we gave them surveys and we got them back, and it was the complete opposite of what they had told us to our face. Most of them did think that boys affected their body images, and a lot of them had dieted, even if it was as simple as not eating their cookies and lunch that day. We were also really upset to see their responses to the write-in where we said, I think my body is ... A lot of them wrote negative responses for that, and there was only one positive response. And then I also wanted to see what girls at Oakton were thinking about their bodies, since I had gotten the viewpoint of 6th graders. So I made up a survey that I linked in one of my blogs. It was 10 questions and I had 70 girls fill it out. And it was very simple, mostly yes or no questions. The last question was optional, and it was, I think my body is, the same way I did with 6th graders. I got the surveys back and they were not unexpected, but very disappointing and just kind of hard to read and hard to understand, because it is easy to look at a statistic online or in a textbook, but it's hard to look at a statistic when you know the people that made up that data pool. Most people that filled in the free response wrote very negative things about their bodies. A lot of them used the words fat, a lot of them used the words gross, a lot of them said they would probably never like their bodies in the future, no matter what. It was definitely hard to read, and it has kind of made my project even more difficult because I kind of wanted to come up with more of a solution for how to fix distorted body image, but the more I learn about it, the more I realize it's such a hard problem to fix, since it's such an individual thing. And it's so easy to say, oh, blame the media, like let's make models not as skinny, like all this. But it's not just that, it's just so many factors that it's impossible to make an end-all solution for this. And one of the most special things about this project for me has been the blog that I have been doing. I started in January, and I have had 20 total posts, and every day I get about 200 hits, which has impressed me because I expected it to just be Miss Blankenship reading my blog, and now I had 200 people reading it, which I kind of thought it was boring, but a lot of people seem interested in it. I've had a couple girls email me anonymously and tell me their stories about their body image, so that's been really cool. But again, it's kind of been a really difficult project because I've had to hear even more about other people's stories, all of which are pretty bad.